hang on a minute, like this is actually the Baldcafe podcast.
Insane.
Sweet.
So you buzzed it, and
Yeah.
then I've watched the video of you reacting to you going bald. I've watched that many times because in that video you're a very different person, or at least you seem like completely different.
Yeah, completely.
Like
Yeah.
You're like, you are upset.
I was. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah.
That was.
So why were you so? I don't know, because if you liked it when you were a teenager, what made you just kind of unload on?
Yeah. So.
That you had a crown.
So what it was the whole sort of the way. When I was a teenager, I was in control of it. I knew at any moment I could grow it back, right? Any moment I could grow my hair back. So I was just kind of having fun with it, playing with the style. And I never thought like, oh, I'll have this style for ages. So my whole perception of it was completely different, you know? It was then I sort of thought, oh yeah, that's a good point actually. Maybe I won't always have this hair. And then, so I decided pretty much after that time, okay, this is the last time I'll get it cut this short, and I'll grow it back and I'll actually have it, because it might just be the case that I will lose it at some point, you know? I didn't really think so, because my hairline, I used to check my hairline maybe, I don't know, once every 6 months or something, and it was so solid, like no recession or anything, as solid as it had always been. And so I never really worried about it at all. It's not really, you know, it wasn't a real fear. I always thought I'll get away with it. So I grew the hair back. And so the first time I shaved it, like I said, it was just a different perception of it. I always knew I could grow it back if I wanted to. But when I knew that my hair was genuinely gonna fall, it was falling out, and that only means that it's gonna fall out more and more and more, until I ended up with the horseshoe, you know, because that's just the way it goes. I know it goes for, you know, different speeds for different people, right? But at the end of the day, that's what I was going to end up with. If it was 30 years old, 40, 50, whatever, it was always going to get to that point, you know? And I think it was just that feeling like I just wasn't in control of it. It was happening to me, and there was nothing I could do about it. And I just feared that look. I feared looking like the classic, like, bald man with the horseshoe. I just thought I would look really ugly, like really weak looking. You know, the same fears I'm sure that a lot of guys share. And it was tough. It was just, I was out of control. I wasn't in control. I think that was the biggest thing for me, why it really sort of freaked me out. I couldn't believe it, and that video is so telling, like so raw. I honestly thought I'd gotten away with it. I thought if I was going to go bald, it would have already happened by now. So this is me, you know, this is what I'm going to be like forever. And then it wasn't. Suddenly that wasn't going to happen, you know. And I really struggled with it, man. You can see in that video, you know, it was tough. Like you said, I was a completely different person, and I think that's honestly why I feel so passionate about doing this now. And it makes me kind of emotional just talking about it. Like, I know how shit it felt for me in during that time and during those months. And I just want to, you know, I thought it was over. I honestly just felt like everything was over. Anything I wanted to achieve, all the dreams, all the success, you know, everything. I thought it was that's never going to happen now. And I just want to show people with Baldcafe and the videos and all the stuff I put out that it isn't like that. That just doesn't happen. You know, if you don't let it it will not hold you back in any way, shape or form. And I can honestly sit here in front of you now, hand on heart, and say honestly that my life, like after I shaved my head and went bald, has never been better. Like never been better. And that's why I do the Baldcafe and why I put so much time, effort into it. You know, all the messages, I always try and get back to every single one, because there's no better feeling to pass on that confidence to another guy who has felt how I felt, like, you know, really low with it in that video. And then to sort of message them at first when they asked for some advice, I give it to them, or I say like, watch this video or read the ebook, whatever, and then for some guys now, it's started to happen now where 9 months later, they'll get in touch with me and they'll be like, I finally did it. I've been following you for like a year. And I finally did it, and I just feel so free, so much better now. And they just say a simple thank you. Nothing can top that. Nothing can top that feeling. Nothing can top it when they just send you a message like that. And I know that I've helped them get to where I am now with it, And so, yeah, you're right. I back then, man, I was a completely different person, yeah.
Hang on a minute. Like, this is actually the Baldcafe podcast. Insane. Sweet.